Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John Gray, and we are celebrating today the veterans of the United States of America.
And aren't we blessed to have people that will go to war for our freedom and our right to freedom of speech and everything else?
Put their life on the line to where we can live the life we live. And how dare you have anything to say other than gratitude to someone who signs up to do that. And I know we're in a situation in this country where people are hating one another for doing nothing just because they don't agree. But if you have a problem with the military, you got a problem with me.
They are. I mean, think how far back it goes when the first Patriots picked up their own hunting rifles and with the strength of,
little to nothing.
Absolutely, and off they went. And
they poured tea in the harbor too. They had a big tea party up there.
They did.
Yeah. Y'all like tea? Let me show you what we're going to do to you.
We're not drinking this tea.
We don't drink tea over here. We drink whiskey and coffee.
Coffee was always big, wasn't it?
Coffee's a big deal. I can remember watching those movies, and I've done it myself. I never have been a great camper. Go out and camp in the woods, We've done that some, but not a whole lot. But I can remember those movies where they'd take that old pot and put it on the campfire. They didn't have a basket or anything to strain
just drink it.
They just pour that little coffee down in there. If you didn't have to spit some coffee out, it wasn't good.
One of my favorite coffee stories is my grandmother told me about her mother in the Civil War was working in the yard, and a Yankee soldier came by and had her hold out her apron, and he filled it up with coffee. And we were Southerners, and he was a Yankee, and there was a little bit of confrontation there. And she said then she realized everybody was pretty much the same. That,
everybody drinking coffee.
Everybody's drinking coffee. But that was a real treat. And
to realize that, all you have to do around here now, we've had for years, Celtic Cup coffee place here, specialty coffee. Then another local place moved in, Fuel So Good. But now, I just read the other day where we have another JB's Coffee or something coming in. Who?
Kevin Brew?
Something Brew. When we've got a coffee company from Winchester moved. I think we have about 12 coffee places now.
Well, that's good that people have plenty of places to get coffee.
Well, you know what? I buy coffee from Fuel So Good because they have a Colombian coffee that Fran likes, and we buy coffee there.
And don't they give you a special deal if you belong to South Jackson?
South Jackson Civic Center? Yes, they do. Performing Arts Center. Excuse me.
That's a very gracious thing, and I think Celtic Cup does that, and there may be others. I just don't know.
Oh, and I saw Celtic Cup, of course, for years sponsored the not the Oktoberfest, but the
Celtic Festival.
The Celtic Festival. And it got so big, it finally moved to the South Jackson grounds. But the dancers that live down in Wartrace.
Oh, you're talking about the Suggs.
Yes, the dancers. They're doing a show at South Jackson. I think it's coming up pretty soon.
Wonderful.
Or somewhere. They're doing. It was in the paper this week. Do y'all get the paper?
There's a lot of good news in the paper.
The people read the paper. We get the paper. We go stop and get a paper twice a week.
Well, I get it because I pay my bill and they
They bring it to you.
They bring it to me, yeah.
Yeah, but there was a nice story in there about that. And one thing that's important, Jerry Harris, my partner, came in this morning. We were talking about all the new businesses in Tullahoma, and find out what's in this town. If you don't know, there's so many new businesses opening up.
And there's little businesses that
Well,
are.
they're local,
They're local, you're right.
and the money stays here.
I know, and that's
That's
wonderful.
what's so important.
That's one of the reasons we're having our roads done and a lot of upkeep.
That's right. That's right.
Takes a lot of money.
You know, look around before you get on that computer and order something from Temu or Obu or whoever, Joe Boo. Look around town and see what's out there. There's all kinds of new stuff out there.
There really is, and often it's in the paper, small print sometimes, but watch what's in the paper.
Lane Curley evidently is not evidently, writes for the Tullahoma News now, and I noticed this Sunday paper, he had 5 different articles in there,
I saw
all about new, different businesses
and that's wonderful.
that are in town, and explaining what they do and who the ownership is, and it's all local people doing stuff. Now, we have some other folks moving in,
We do.
but we have a whole lot of local folks that are opening up businesses as well. So give it a look before you go sit down in front of your computer and order something from Amazon where nobody in this town makes any money off
See
of
if you
it.
can find it in this little town.
Yeah, I guarantee you can find something that's close to what you're looking for. Now, I know you can't find everything here, but please try to shop Tullahoma first and see.
I think that's important.
It's very important. It allows us to have all these little sports teams we have and this wonderful civic center we have, all the things, art center, all this stuff in the art world going on. That's all funded by local small business.
Exactly.
Big business, big box business doesn't participate in that kind of stuff.
It's the little people.
It's the little people. It's us taking care of one another.
And they're not such little people. They're wonderful people.
Well, no, they are. But compared to some store that has 8,000 employees and 1,000 stores and stuff like that,
That's true, yeah.
So it's us. It's all about us. Spend your money here.
I wish I had some.
Huh? Yeah, me too. Money ain't nothing but trouble. I'm gonna give all mine away.
Yeah.
Bigger the money you got, the bigger your problems.
Bigger
are.
your problems.
They don't. The problems don't change. They just get
They
bigger.
just get bigger.
Yeah, just get
and
bigger.
cost more money.
Yeah. Hey, I know I've read this before, but I'm gonna read it again. A couple of things. Shoes left behind. The question's been asked so many times, who's going to keep the flag high, up in the wind like our heroes did, to follow as we watch it fly? As they pass along in the midst of the song, someone must finish the rhythm and rhyme. The lessons they taught, the battles they fought, have fitted you for the shoes left behind. Wearing the shoes left behind, being a torch in the night, how can you ever measure up and match the blazing light that their legacy left for you to see, knowing that you would find in the memories all that you need to wear the shoes left behind? At times they loom so large, sometimes the pressure's squeezed tight, but the more you walk the road they trod, the more the fit feels right. As hard as it seems, follow your dreams. You're one of a kind. Embrace each morn because you were born to wear the shoes left behind. Wearing the shoes left behind, being a torch in the night, how can you ever measure up and match the blazing light that the legacy left for you to see, knowing that you would find in the memories all that you need to wear the shoes left behind? Yes, embrace each morn because you were born to wear the shoes left behind.
That's good. I remember following my father around thinking, I'd walk in his big footsteps and I'd think to myself, will I ever be good enough to fill those shoes? Because I admired him so much.
You know, and George Jones had a great song, Who's Gonna Fill Their Shoes? You know, so that's a theme that's gone. I wrote that because a friend of mine, Steve Popovich, his father passed away, and he was a big man in the music business, and Steve was really affected by that, and I wrote that for him and for a veteran's honor.
It's a
because
great,
the
it's a great
shoes that
honor.
they wear, the things that they do, if you've not been there, you really have no idea
What those
those
shoes have
pressures
been.
are
Yeah,
and how
right.
they squeeze tight, you know, and you have to walk that road to even come close to understanding what takes place. And today at our veteran celebration at South Jackson Performing Arts Center, your son, General Bart Burton, is going to be there and be at one of the speakers.
Bless his heart. I'm so glad he could come.
He is an excellent speaker.
Thank you.
He's a wonderful man, and I was telling Peggy before, you know, Bart Burton's one of those people you can look in his eyes and you know that if he tells you something that he's going to do, he'll die
Get it done.
to get it done.
That's true.
There ain't any nonsense about that guy.
And he holds fast to his own truth,
Yes, he does.
and I appreciate
I
that.
appreciate that as well. Now, with the way the world, our little world in the United States is, you know, we still got people, because a couple of politicians can't get their stuff straight. There's people not working
I know.
and not getting paid. And you know, even our veteran celebration, we don't. We usually have a lot of people participating from Arnold Center. They can't do it because they're not working.
That would be hard for me to have somebody tell me I couldn't do something. I mean, are they not doing it?
I don't know. I
because
just read that the show might be a little bit shorter. We usually have one of the speakers would be the commander out there.
Right. He's not
and
coming?
he can't come
because he's
because of the stop. That's what I understood. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. But we've got a bunch of people sitting up there in the fat.
offices.
In the
Whatever.
fat. They're sitting in the fat, all of them are, and they can't make a decision about something to where the government is closed and people are suffering because of it. And I guarantee you, they're being paid, their insurance is being covered, and they're not worried about where they're going to get their next meal.
And that's a little bit unfair, isn't
It's
it?
very unfair. I need some good news bad. Hell, I've worked all my life, 2 or 3 jobs at a time. I want the best for my family and me, but I always seem behind. I hate the phone and the U.S. mail. All they bring is pain. My work is gone, my credit sucks, and they won't let me explain. I need some good news bad. I just need a break. I need some good news bad. I don't know how much more I can take. Loyalty for working guys like me. Well, it died with my dad. Lord, if I'm going to make it, I need some good news bad. What do you do when it's not about you, but the times we're going through? The big boss man's vacationing again, but he left a pink slip for you. This country's built on God we trust, but we've trusted a bunch of jerks. Send them home where they belong and put me back to work. I need some good news bad. I just need a break. I need some good news bad. I don't know how much more I can take. Loyalty for working guys like me, it died with my dad. Lord, if I'm going to make it, I need some good news bad. All I want is a hard day's work and the respect you gave my dad. Come on, USA, find a way. We need some good news bad. So,
And we
get
do, don't we?
it done.
Get her done.
Get her done. You know what we're going to do right now?
No.
We are
Not a
getting
clue.
ready. We are getting ready. You know, Jerry Harris went out and found one of Tullahoma's favorite and finest, Coach Jerry Mathis.
Oh, wonderful.
So we had 2 Jerrys on stage, one talking and one listening. I think. But with those two, it was probably two talking and two listening.
Yeah.
We played the first half of this last week, I believe. We're going to play the second half of that interview right now. Hope you enjoy it, or after the break.
I want to invite y'all to come by Clayton's, downtown Tullahoma. We try to serve the community, the area, and we try to help people with their feet and comfortable shoes. We still measure feet. We have a great new arch mat. We have insoles. Please come see us at Clayton's and let me help you find some comfortable shoes for those achy feet.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton's Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
STEM is everywhere, like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker boards.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at shecanstem.com.
Hi there, this is Terry Stroop, Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration. Summer's about to wind down, fall's right around the corner. It's time to get signed up for your fall maintenance checks, and let's get out and support our local high school football this year. Let's go, Cats.
Gracie and Pedro might not get along so well.
Just standing on my tail.
But there's one thing they agree on. There's a right seat for everyone.
Oh, that's the good stuff.
Whether you're a dog,
Hold on, Pooch.
a cat, a fish, or a rat.
And I'm a ferret.
Be sure to travel safe.
How can you be so sure?
I'm absolutely positive.
On your next adventure, make sure your children are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Well, one other thing I want to ask you is, as a coach, advice that you can give to T-ball coaches, Little League coaches, Babe Ruth coaches, and especially travel league coaches. What advice could you give to them?
Well, my advice I would give to them is you take the game for what it's worth. Be respective of it. Love the game. And just realize that you're going to win some, accept it. You're going to lose some, accept that. Don't be happy with it, but accept it. But a lot of these travel teams, they spend all summer traveling all around this place. I think a lot of times some of these kids are just absolutely too young. They get burnt out on that. I know that. I know some softball girls that are in my family who got burned out doing travel, and they're not playing today. Take the game for what it's worth. Learn to play it well. Enjoy what you're doing, and be happy and be rewarded in it.
Well, I agree with every bit of that. There's other things that I looked at. Of course, I coached different than you did, and mine was at a lower level. But I always believed that a coach, T-ball, Little League especially, that is when the youth will listen more.
Sure.
Now, when they start getting in Babe Ruth, and this is true with all of them, that's when they start, I'm trying to think of a nice way to put this, but they get kind of defiant. Right. They know more than mama and daddy, and they definitely know more than the coach.
Sure they do.
Now, that's the 13s, but up through that T-ball and minor league, you can develop some good ball players.
Yeah, that's right. You develop good habits, and that's what you want to do.
You teach
develop good. And in Estill Springs, I coach the Little League teams, the Lions Club. A lot of those kids went on to play high school ball, and not necessarily here because I was in Estes, Franklin County, and did really well. So, and we were a good team. We were 18-0. We didn't get beat, and I got to coach the All-Stars. And let me tell you about the All-Stars in Estes. Let me tell you two of the people I got to coach: Donald Roden and Ricky Morris. They were both on that team, and both you'd pitch one of them one game and the other in the next one.
They were ball players.
Woo! They were great ball players and great people.
You talk about Estill. I'm going to tell my Estill Springs. That's where I started coaching.
Okay.
Now, I did help them in Tullahoma 1 year, but I was assistant coach. I can still remember when I went to try to get a team, and we got the team, and it seemed like every time there was a new kid come, we'd get him. But you had to play everybody on the team. And I'm not sure if it was that way with you.
It wasn't. It wasn't like that.
But what was funny is, and this is a true story, my father-in-law and I did the coaching. But if a parent showed up at practice, I made them get out there and do something. I didn't let them sit on the sideline. I'd have them hit balls on the ground, hit fly balls, pitch back and forth. They're going to do something. They wasn't going to sit and watch. So we got ready, and they have a preseason tournament. They say, and the president of the league told me this. He said, Jerry said, you're going to play the best team in the league. And he said, we already know it. Everybody knows he's got the best team. He's just got some really good ball players. And he said, but don't let that bother you because this is your first year coaching. You'll be fine. I said, all right. So we had our preseason tournament, and we played the best team in the league. I had S&J's team. Mm-hmm. We beat them 28-0. We never lost a game the rest of the season. They put together an all-star team, and we played them, and we beat them. And the hardest games we played was when my team played a team that had mostly girls. Them girls could
some
play
of those girls
ball.
back then could play ball.
Them girls could play
Yeah,
ball,
they could.
buddy. But I'll never forget it. Those were some just great times. And Estill Springs is a great place.
It's a great place. They got some good kids. I really like what you did as far as parents come to watch. You're going to help me get out here. I like that.
Hey, they need to get out there. I just
I don't want them to come out there and be watching and then it become critical, and I don't like that.
Well, I'll tell you what it did, or what I saw, was they realized what their child could do and couldn't do. So when we did things, it didn't make them, didn't upset them as much.
They could realize and see it.
They could say, hey,
I got you.
I don't want her doing this and that. But Coach, I tell you, I've watched some of the things that you used to do, and you had a great career at Tullahoma High School.
I was blessed.
You truly did.
People would always say, Coach, you must have been a good coach. I said, y'all don't understand. I had great athletes. If they won a game, I didn't win one of them, but they did a good job.
Well, they learned good stuff, though.
Well, we did a lot on fundamentals, and we did it every day. Bunting, for example, our kids will tell you now, I teach them how to bunt. We bunt by, squaring around with a big end of the bat, lay it down. Then I'd say, now flip the bat over.
Good.
Now band it with a little end. Now hold it, flip it around, do it with the bend. I said, y'all know the reason why I do that is because if you bunt it with a little knob of the bat, you have to keep your eye on it. That's the same thing about hitting. Why do you catch a ball? If I put a glove on your hand, and that's what we did on hitting. If I put a glove on your hand, what do you have to do to catch it? You better keep your eye on it. Right? Same thing about hitting. See the ball, put the bat on it.
Well, I'll confess, I watched you do a lot of that. We stole a lot of what you did.
I didn't care.
We would take it and do things, especially pitching.
Yeah.
Now, on your pitching, I was a full believer. I'm going to tell you one more story. Did you know Drew Henson?
Yeah.
Drew came to me in Little League, and he walks up and he says, Coach, I'm a pitcher. I want to play for y'all. And then he walks off. So I'm over there, me and Mark, and I told him, I said, I think I'm going to draft that boy. So we did. And he was 10 years old. And we was playing the best team in the Little League at the time. which was Leroy Ewing's team.
Mm-hmm.
He had some good ball players, Chris and all them, you know. Yeah. Well, and I told him, I said, I'm gonna let him pitch. He goes out there, first inning, and I'm getting to the part where a kid turns on the light bulb. He goes out there the first inning, they get 4 runs off of him. They come in, of course, he's dragging. They get us out. He goes back out there. They get 4 more runs off of him. He comes in, he's got them little teardrops in his eyes, and I said, you want to come out? And he said, yep. I said, I'll tell you what. I said, if you'll go back out there 1 more inning and throw to the catcher. I said, don't aim, don't do it, just throw to the catcher and go through your balance points and everything. I'll take you out after the inning, okay? Okay. Now they're ahead 8-0. He goes back out there in the 3rd inning, 4 up, 3 down. He's good. They get 4 batters up, but we get the 3 out. He comes off the mound. I said, you want to come out? And he said, nope. They never scored another run off of him. They beat us 8-7. He never once did I ever question how that young man did. But when he went out there that 2nd inning, after he came out for the 3rd, you could tell his light bulb come on. Mm-hmm. And he knew what he had to do.
Sure he did.
And kids are like that. They have them light bulbs.
You must have been a pretty good coach.
Nah, I wasn't that good. I had a lot of good, but I fudged a lot because I had my son and my nephew.
Yeah, I understand that.
Ben up the street. We had some good ball players, but they was just kids that wanted to play. That's
the key.
That's the key, is having kids that want to play. Well, Coach, I really enjoyed our conversation.
Yeah.
And I hope maybe we get you back here again sometime. We'll do some pointers for pitching and hitting and just a little bit base running.
Yeah, I can go through the pitching, 5 steps to pitching.
That's it.
That's it.
You can go to it.
We can go to it and hitting, and we can do all of that. Anytime, I'd love to come back. I enjoy it. I still enjoy the game of baseball. People say, could you coach? I say, absolutely. I could still coach. Now, could I put up the things behind the scene? I'm not sure. But it's going to be tough. But they're going to have to learn to live with what I do.
When parents get too rough, that's when I've decided I've had it. Well, I mean, you're there to do something. You do it, and you try to teach the best you can. And that's all any of us can do.
I coached my son, and he was pitching one night against Columbia. And I brought him in relief. And David Myers was my catcher. And I brought him in, and Tim was a pretty good pitcher. And I brought him in, and he did real well. Then I got down to the last inning, and I said, okay, I'm going to have to switch him because I got a left-hander coming up. So I switched him. Well, we got out of it, but Tim had done real well. I went home, and I got met at the door. My wife said, I want you to explain something to me. What? Why'd you take him out? I thought he was doing real well. I knew right then, uh-oh, here we go. Uh-oh. So, I was fortunate over here. I had some good athletes. I had some that really wanted to, they didn't feel like they could get beat. They felt like they could beat you, and they'd beat you in 5 innings if they could, and they felt like I had some great athletes and great kids.
You did through the years. I can remember a bunch of super good kids that really got out there and hustled and went and got it done.
Well, my uncle was a radio announcer in Mississippi. He owned a radio station. He called me one night and said, Jerry, yeah, I said, I'm listening to Mississippi State play Auburn. I said, you are? Yeah. Guess what? The pitcher of Mississippi State's from Tullahoma. The guy hitting's from Tullahoma. That's right. So you had Rob Norman and Derek Cranover. Yeah, I said, well.
You had a lot that went on to, you had some went straight to the pros.
A bunch of them, yeah. We had 11 in the pros. So I had one like DeJuan Brazelton,
yeah,
opening day starter for the Tampa Bay.
He was a great pitcher.
Good pitcher.
He was.
Yeah. Brandon Poss was a great pitcher.
So they just through the years, a lot of good kids have gone through Tullahoma High School.
They really have.
Yeah. Well, Coach, we're about out of time, but I want to thank you for coming in.
It's not a problem. I love the game, and anytime you want to talk, we talk. I could come in here sometime. We sit down and tell you some funny stories about it.
Well, we'll do that.
I got some things that I did that it'll make you smile.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll schedule that and we'll have it on another episode.
We'll do it.
All right. Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay.
We'll be right back after these messages.
This place, where you grew up, where your memories were made, and where your dreams were born, where your neighbors stop to say hello, and where you're always welcome to stay a while, where your Fridays are spent under the lights, and where Saturdays are made for the water, where you can feel good about a hard day's work and take pride in a job well done, where small business makes a big impact, and home is always a sight for sore eyes. And where the best things in life, well, the best things in life are the little things. Tullahoma Utilities Authority, power in community.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
Hi there, this is Terry Stroop, Stroop Sacker Refrigeration. Summer's about to wind down, fall's right around the corner. It's time to get signed up for your fall maintenance checks, and let's get out and support our local high school football this year. Let's go, Cats.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat, with John and Pat, with John and Pat.
Hello everyone, I'm John Rickman.
And this is Pat Welch and John. We are here today for segment 65 of the Conversations with John and Pat.
That's when I graduated from high school, 65.
65.
That was a good year.
It was a good year.
It was good. Had a good time. I liked high school a whole lot. But we're going to talk about some sports.
Most school people liked school. I loved school.
Yeah, I did
loved
too.
it.
I couldn't see why people wouldn't like it. But this little song, I'm going back in the archives a little bit of my memory and pulling out some of these songs that I wrote. And this was a parody. I think we talked about that one other time, you know, about using a tin that already was there, and I put words to it.
Not everybody from Forest High knows what a parody is, John. I'm pretty impressed.
Well, thank you, Pat. Here it is. 26 years of my life I gave to pick guitar in Nashville. 26 years of my life I gave to be a star in Nashville. I'm a-going there where the money's free. Music Square is a-calling me. Oh, what a big star I will be there in Music City. Oh, give me a home where the swimming pools are roam and the money grows on trees and all the girls want to be squeezed. I'm gonna make my debut at Opryland when I get to Nashville. Get me a bus and my very own band when I get to Nashville. I'm gonna set up shop on Music Row, giving lessons to old Hank Snow. You just watch this old country boy go when I get to Nashville. Oh, give me a home where the swimming pools roam and the money grows on trees and all the girls wanna be squeezed. Well, I'm a-going there if I have to crawl all the way to Nashville. Date Dolly Parton and that ain't all when I get to Nashville. When I get there, I'm gonna change my name, write a hit song about an old freight train. They'll hang my picture in the Hall of Fame when I get to Nashville. I'll sing it. Oh, give me a home where the swimming pools roam and the money grows on trees and all the girls wanna be squeezed. I bet you've never heard that song before, Pat.
I've heard parts of it.
You know, Jimmy, you know, you noticed at the song, a lot of those people, of course, Dolly Parton's married. I'm married. You got
Blissfully.
Yeah, and I'm not sure about Dolly, but yes, I am on this end of things. And then Hank Snow is no longer with us. He passed away several years ago. So a lot of that was written a long time ago. And like you can tell, I struggled remembering the words, but I think I got through it.
You didn't have to quit, John.
I didn't have to quit, so that was a good thing. But what are we talking about today, Pat?
Well, the music certainly doesn't provide much of a segue. However,
not every song does.
No. We've had some, we have had some good programs come out of a non-segue, and today will be one of them, we hope. UTSI has been a great, made great contributions to Tullahoma, provided great jobs, and it's been a great kind of showcase for our area and for the state. But not many people realize that UTSI has a sports background, and I did not realize that until yesterday at a barbecue at O'Reilly's Auto Parts. I found out that in 1977, UTSI had a rugby club team that engaged in battle with the University of Tennessee, MTSU, Vanderbilt, and Auburn.
Wow.
And it got its footing in a local establishment that has late night hours, and it was frequented by 3 or 4 graduate students seeking some relief from their studies. And they found several look like past athletes or athletes that could be described either way in the establishment, and asked them if they'd ever played rugby. Not only nobody had played rugby, nobody had heard of rugby. But as they described it, several felt
sort of like football.
It's kind of like football without helmets, and which would have fit these boys really well. The problem was none of them would have been termed at that point, nor would they have accepted the term of being a rocket scientist. So it made a really kind of incredible combination. And I guess in these club sports, you don't even have to be enrolled, because these boys definitely were not enrolled. Philip, put up that. This is from 1977 Tullahoma News, and I believe UTSI was in striped jerseys, rugby shirts, and the gentleman on the left, it looks like he's signaling touchdown in American football, is Bill Hain. He was a year or two older than I, and maybe what made him legal was that his brother Joe was in charge of facilities at UTSI, and I believe he still is. The gentleman in the middle who's jumping up is Tim Stubblefield, who is with the fire department and a great, and he's also a county commissioner. And the smaller guy on the right in the striped shirt is an actual grad student. So he had real ties to UTSI. This game they lost to MTSU 16-14, but that year they beat Vanderbilt and they beat Auburn. How about the second piece? That is also from 1977, and I believe to the far left is Bobby Nichols, who has been in Tullahoma a long time, and then there's two guys on the right, and those are our friends, the Banks brothers. Kenny is the furthest to the left of the two, and Randy is on the far right. And if anybody will see their legs, they needed Michael Jordan length shorts at that time. They both of them a little bit thin in the leg department. And they are highly competitive people, and I think these graduate students were probably surprised at the lengths that those boys would go to try to make UTSI victorious, but neither one of them has ever been accused of being rocket scientists at the same time.
Pat, that's an ugly thing to say about
Well, John, nor you or I would be described as a rocket scientist.
You're correct.
Rocket scientist. But it's great that we live in a community that has.
One thing that I noticed moving from where I was to Tullahoma, the diversity in the community. People at UTSI, AEDC, the Air Force people who come in, they bring a lot of different ideas and life experiences to Tullahoma that we're not familiar with sometimes.
Correct. And
can I tell a story on Tim Stubblefield?
Sure.
I was a coach teacher at East Junior High School at this time, and one day I was a physical education teacher, and we were into wrestling during that time. And I got a child came over to my gym and said, Mr. Rickman, Mr. Saunders, Charlie Saunders, and Tim Stubblefield would like to wrestle.
And Mr. Saunders was the
he was a history teacher.
And I student taught under him in 1975 in the old East building, the old high school building.
And Tim, I suppose, was a 9th grader at that time. I really don't know. It might have been an 8th, but I know probably a 9th
We're
grader.
still back in history then, because that'd been either 77 probably or
now,
no.
Here's a teacher. Yeah. Here's a teacher and a student that's been in the classroom, and somebody has said, Mr. Saunders probably to him, I bet you couldn't beat Tim. Tim was strong as an ox. He was. As a child, a youngster, he was strong. And so anyway,
he was probably bigger than Charlie in the 9th grade too.
Well, but anyway, they came in, all the students gathered around the mats, and I had my whistle, and I was the referee, and I made sure that that things went on without any problem. So Mr. Saunders and Tim began to wrestle, and next thing you know, Mr. Saunders is on his back, and Tim's about ready to, pin him, and I think, this is too quick. I can't let Tim beat him so quickly. So I said, no, that's an illegal hold. We're gonna stand you back up. We're gonna stand you back up.
Start over.
Well, wasn't any time to Tim.
A mulligan. Gave him a mulligan, a wrestling mulligan.
Tim had him down again, and that was settled after that. And so Tim beat Mr. Saunders. Now, I don't know if things like that could go on today, but
probably
things were
not.
different back at that time, and we sure had a good time. And I laugh about that today, and I don't know what Mr. Saunders does. But
flinches probably.
But Tim Stubblefield, we love you, old buddy, and all those people who played rugby back that time.
Don, not many people know that UTSI was involved in interscholastic athletics at a high end, in 1977, and many people know that Tim Stubblefield whipped Charlie Saunders in your PE class. But that probably wraps up segment 65 of the Conversations with John and Pat, and we're so desirous of coming back because we have more stories to tell. Thank y'all.
Talking history about this and that. It's Conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
HostMy provides modern phone systems with mobile integration, HIPAA-ready business texting, and digital faxing solutions. More importantly, we offer dedicated U.S.-based support, transparent billing, and unparalleled reliability. Call 931-581-4411 today and partner with the best.
Hi, my name is Ringo, here at Parkview Senior Living. They're human-friendly. That's why I love it here, and so does my senior human. When they want a bite, they get chef-prepared meals, and so do I. Movies in the theater, day trips, walks on the trail, and other senior humans to play with. The grass and the grounds are exquisite. It's everything my human needs to be healthy and active. Parkview. A Parkview Senior Living. For your dog's best friend, you.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is me? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes. Look at that. You even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you got to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
We teach Parkinson's patients how to move big and not let the Parkinson's slow them down. I've had patients I've treated in-house that could not even stand up, could not roll over in the bed, left the facility walking with a walker, have come back to us in outpatient and continued their big program and are now completely, handling life. The success of the program is just phenomenal.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I'm an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Welcome back. On November 16th, we're having the Young Musician Showcase. That's next weekend at South Jackson Performing Arts Center at 2:30 in the afternoon on the 16th. And today, Lisa Maurer, who puts this program together with these expert students, is going to introduce one of the participants. So be sure and get a ticket.
Our next piece is from the 20th century. The Tableau de Provence is a 5-movement suite written by female French composer Paul Maurice, 1910 to 1967. Tableau is dedicated to the great French saxophonist Marcel Newell. Tableau de Provence, translated Pictures of Provence, is a programmatic suite, also referred to as program music. Program music is musical compositions that are inspired by non-musical ideas. Each movement of this tableau describes the culture and scenery of Provence, a town in southeast France where the Mules and Paul Maurice and her husband vacation together. We will hear the 4th and 5th movement today. Movement 4, A Sigh on the Souls for the Allekamps, refers to the laments of friends that hover over the cemetery at Allekamps. When Maurice wrote this movement, she was inspired by the emotional pain at the death of her husband's cousin, whom she used to spend a lot of time with reading and talking. She wrote this movement in 2 days. The opening interval of its ascending second and third in the saxophone line expresses the musical sigh, expressing the sadness and loss of her husband's cousin and her friend. Movement 5, the title translates to a large insect, similar to a bumblebee or a large cicada. This piece was written especially for saxophonist Marcel Mule, and when he played through the fifth movement, he said it was too easy. So she added a cadenza in it to aid a little more technical difficulty for me. Tableau was originally written for saxophone and orchestra. Later, an arrangement for piano and sax was rendered. After the cadenza, listen for the ending canon between the sax and the piano. Listen and decide what becomes of the bumblebee at the end. Chloe Fuller will play for us the fourth and fifth movement from the Tableau de Provence.
place where you grew up, where your memories were made, and where your dreams were born, where your neighbors stop to say hello, and where you're always welcome to stay a while, where your Fridays are spent under the lights, and where Saturdays are made for the water, where you can feel good about a hard day's work and take pride in a job well done, where small business makes a big impact, and home is always a sight for sore eyes. And where the best things in life, well, the best things in life are the little things. Tullahoma Utilities Authority. Power in community.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department, need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street, heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. 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 Woo.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size.
Yeah.
Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
My good friends in TV land, thank you for that introduction, John, and good morning, TV camera ladies. Everybody's looking chipper this morning. Morning, Dot. Hope you're feeling better. And all our good friends that watched last week said, do some more about the old business, the old industrial plants in Tullahoma. So I thought I'd do a little continuation of that program. We mentioned the oldest industrial plant in Tullahoma being the Klondike or Camel Lumber Company and Lanham Manufacturing Company, and we thought we'd mention a few more. It would take days to cover all of them properly, but the other sporting goods plant that was came to Tullahoma many years ago was Wilson Sporting Goods, and it was on Wilson Avenue, and believe it or not, they made tennis rackets and a lot of other sporting goods that many people were not aware of, but they're one of the biggest industrial plants in Tullahoma now, and they make their professional grade of golf clubs at their plant on Wilson Avenue, and they ship dozens of clubs every week, and not only the drivers but the whole set of golf clubs that the professionals use, and they have golf bags too that they make and ship. I don't know what the total employment is, there, but it's a well-established, long-time firm that we're really proud of. One of the long-time businesses, industrial business in Tullahoma, in 1934, the city of Tullahoma built a large factory building on South Anderson Street at the corner of Carroll and Anderson. It was a shoe factory, and they built it and leased it to the General Shoe Corporation of Nashville for $1 a year, and it gave employment to several hundred people, and it was a big weekend celebration inaugurating the establishment of that building. And for years and years, General Shoe made Jarman and Fortune and the Friendly Five shoe that was so popular from General Shoe, and it operated from 1934 up until General Shoe sold part of its operation, and for many years it was. They made boots out there, the Acme Boot Company, I believe from either Springfield or Clarksville, used it at making boots. Later, the SAS or San Antonio Shoe Company occupied that building until recently, and to my knowledge, they are not manufacturing shoes there at the present time, but it's a long time historical industrial part of our community, and many people have worked there for many years and retired from General Shoe. Just behind General Shoe on the Carroll Street of the Manchester Highway, it was a division at one time of the shoe plant, and it was Rock 10 that made the boxes and the cartons to ship shoes in. And there's still an operation there, a big business that is very good. Now, again, South Anderson Street, at the present home of Krim's Florists and Gifts, was a business that was operated for many years by Mrs. Claude Owens, and it was a chenille bedspread factory, and they made bedspreads. And there was another one that was built and operated by Mrs. Freeman on North Atlantic Street between the old post office and Prescott Bottling Company, a brick building there that made chenille bedspreads for many years, and they were real popular, and they shipped hundreds of dozens of bedspreads all over the country for many years, and gave employment to a lot of people. I think we just barely touched on the overall factory that used to be Tennessee Bullseye Overall Factory, that is now Tennessee Apparel Company in the 400 block of North Atlantic Street, that employ several hundred people and make trousers and uniforms for the armed forces. And one time, I understand, they had a big contract to make foul weather gear because they had a material that would keep the Navy and Army and other service personnel warm. A little known factory that hasn't been around for many years was out near where Mike Thompson's Ford place is, on what is now the, of course, the Manchester Highway. Manchester Highway was built in 1941 as a maneuver, a convoy highway, and it was not used for a couple of years by civilians, but then it was, before that, around the turn of the century, there was a big brickyard out there, brick factory that was really important, and they made bricks, and part of them had embraced in their brick itself the word Tullahoma. The old high school up on East Lincoln Street was built entirely with bricks that were made in Tullahoma, and the old Fitzgerald Clark School was made of bricks that had been manufactured in Tullahoma. And these are supposed to be quite a collector's item. And I thought, well, maybe some of these days I'm going to spray one with gold paint on it and have the ideal, the #1 Tullahoma gold brick. If I do, I'll bring it and share it with you sometime. And There's so many more industries. We had a cheese plant here at one time and others that we'll mention, and it's been a great joy to share these moments with you about Tullahoma and the history of Tullahoma. I sure thank you for watching. And this is not the end of the story, because there's a whole lot more to come. If my memory holds out before I forget, I want to share it with you. Thank you and have a good day.
I want to invite y'all to come by Clayton's, downtown Tullahoma. We try to serve the community, the area, and we try to help people with their feet and comfortable shoes. We still measure feet. We have a great new arch mat. We have insoles. Please come see us at Clayton's and let me help you find some comfortable shoes for those achy feet.
Service and quality at Clayton's Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed. I couldn't walk. I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
STEM is everywhere, like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker boards.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at shecanstem.com.
Hi there, this is Terry Stroop, Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration. Summer's about to wind down, fall's right around the corner. It's time to get signed up for your fall maintenance checks, and let's get out and support our local high school football this year. Let's go, Cats.
Gracie and Pedro might not get along so well.
They're standing on my tail.
But there's one thing they agree on. There's a right seat for everyone.
Oh, that's the good stuff.
Whether you're a dog,
Hold on, Pooch.
a cat, a fish, or a rat.
And I'm a ferret.
Be sure to travel safe.
How can you be so sure? I'm absolutely positive.
On your next adventure, make sure your children are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/therightseat.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do right now is I'm going to read you a little story. It's not a story. It's not a long story. It's kind of a short story. And it is about I like giving voices to inanimate objects.
Oh, okay. That
So
sounds
this is
interesting.
about, have you ever, you know what a tortoiseshell pick is?
Sort of. Yes, I do.
Well, you know, tortoiseshell, lighters,
and
you know,
use
they
it for
put
a-
tortoiseshell on
For a
different.
guitar pick.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
on high dollar stuff.
Exactly.
And so this is about the life of a tortoiseshell pick that was abused in Gruen's guitar store.
Okay.
Okay? On the top shelf of the third glass display case on the left at Gruen's Guitars in Nashville, Tennessee, there was a genuine tortoiseshell guitar pick proudly displayed for sale. He was not a flimsy, thin pick like most beginners use, but thick, smooth piece of tortoiseshell with a rich feel and luster fit for the most accomplished master. He had come to the store in a small special order of high-priced merchandise. Over time, the notable musicians had purchased all the other picks like him. One left the store with Chet Atkins, another with Mark Knopfler. So the pick knew that surely a country star would buy him and take him on tour to perform before thousands at the biggest venues in the business. But one day, the most unthinkable thing occurred. While the sales clerks were off working with customers, a purple-haired young man with baggy pants and a torn t-shirt reached in the case, grabbed the pick, and headed to the guitar rack. No one realized the screaming that ensued was the pick screaming for help. How could they ever, over the banging, thumping, scraping, and screeching sound the kid was wrenching out of the guitar he hammered? Right at the end of this abusive display, the kid grinded the pick up and down the strings, jumped up in the air, slammed a final chord with all of his might. And that's when it happened. A chunk flew out of the edge of the last remaining tortoiseshell pick. The kid, pleased with his performance, hung the guitar back on the rack. He flicked the notch in the pick with his thumbnail, shrugged, and threw it down in a bowl of practice picks on a coffee table, then walked out the door. A salesman walked into the area after the kid had left to check on the guitar. He looked down and saw the damaged tortoiseshell pick, picked it up, ran his finger over the jagged, scraped, and notched edges. He threw the shell pick back down in a bowl and walked away, mumbling something about crazy kids and how they destroy everything they touch. Destroy? Destroy? Destroy was right. That kid had destroyed the pick's life, destroyed his career, and destroyed his dreams. He would never be in the hands of a star.
Oh.
He was used.
Bless him.
And so it was the notched pick. He stayed in the bowl with the rest of the practice picks, hoping that every now and then he would be picked up and used by a customer trying out a guitar. But he was not used very much. He was picked up a lot because of the pretty luster and shine. But most of the time, he was traded for a thinner pick, easier to use. So after a few months, he realized that most of the time when he was used, it was by people who could really play. This fact was driven home one day when a young man came in with a radio playing, and the pick heard a familiar sound. And the more he listened, the more he realized that he knew every note. Yes, he knew every painful note because it was the same guitar run that crazy kid played the day that he was broken. Wait a minute. That kid was on the radio. That kid's a star. He had been used by a star. He had been used by a star. From that day forward, his attitude changed. He started paying attention to who used him and what they played when they picked him up. He listened to every note, the bend of every string, the groove of each rhythm created, the groove that each rhythm created. He remembered it all deep within his being. The players were as different as the music. Some were punks with spiked hair who played hard. Some were older and more worn looking who played kind of bluesy and sad. A lot of them had a cowboy look with pointed boots, big belt buckles, who all played about love with a twang. When the pick was not being used, which was often, he tried to listen to the in-store radio. As he did, he realized that a lot of the music he had played was on the air. Not just the music, but the players who used him as well. He knew they were his players because he remembered their feel, expression, their love for the music in every note. And over time, the tortoiseshell pick realized, he started to understand what a wonderful gift had been given to him the day the purple-headed kid walked in the store. If he had not been broken, surely a star would have bought him and he would have been in the spotlight. The music would have been good, but sort of mostly the same because that's the way players are. Then one day he would have dropped, fallen, into the floor beneath the stage and stuck on a piece of gum, washed in a pair of jeans and left in the dryer, or just lost, because that's the way players are, then the music would have stopped. But there, in the bowl of practice picks, he had been a tutor to many stars. Some had picked him up only to throw him back until the time when their talent was ready for him. Some had used him, talent or no, until they achieved the style they wanted. Let me tell you, that was not always fun. And then there were the times when a master would wander in, pick him up, and stroke one of the finer instruments for a moment or two. When this happened, it was pure pleasure. The most important thing was that the music never stopped. You know, it's funny how things turn out sometimes. One moment of perceived torture and abuse in the hands of a child evolved into a lifetime of wonderment and joy. Isn't music grand?
I love that. That was beautiful.
So,
that was a touching story.
Tortoiseshell pick.
Right. How do you get these ideas? You're so.
I don't know.
They just come out of the blue and.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about it, you know, and because I tried to use a thick pick. My brother used the more you get proficient with a guitar, the thicker the pick you use, because you're hitting strings with it. You're not, you know.
Yeah,
when you first start, you're going like this, and you want a thin, floppy pick that hits all the strings. You know, go to C, go to G. You're doing this. When you're proficient, you're playing and you're hitting note at a time, string at a time when you're picking a guitar.
It was going through my head that how good a piano must feel when Lisa Maurer sits down to play.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, somebody that really knows the music, and it's exciting to me to the way you turn an instrument into something with feelings.
And Jerry Lee, I'm reading about Jerry Lee Lewis right now, rereading his autobiography, and he and Johnny Cash toured together when Johnny was doing the blues and more rock and roll before he really turned country.
Yeah.
And he was headlining one night, and Jerry said, "Well, no, I closed the show," and Johnny said, "No."
No.
And the promoter said, "No. Johnny's he's in the big notes. You're right, big letters. You're right underneath him." And so Jerry Lee said, "So he's gonna close the show, is he?" They said, "Yeah." He said, "Okay." So he went out before him. When he got through, he played for 2 hours. And he had wrenched every tear, every ounce of joy out of the audience. When he got through with them, they just half of them got up and walked out. It was done.
It was done, yeah.
You know, and Cash goes out there, plays 4 or 5 songs, and everybody just walks out. And he came back and he said, "I'll never follow Jerry Lee Lewis ever again."
That's interesting.
One night, Chuck Berry was doing the same thing to him. He carried some gasoline out there, and he would kick the piano stool, you know, off the thing.
Yeah.
He got up on top of the piano and played it laying down backwards over. And so then he comes down and he stands up and he sets the piano on fire.
Oh my gosh.
Sets the piano on fire and walks off stage, and the piano's burning to the floor. You know,
that's a bit much, John.
You know, well, that's what he did. That's why they call him the killer.
The killer. He did it.
He killed the piano. He wrenched. He beat every note out of it that he could beat out of that piano. And then you look on the other side. You see the movie The Green Book about the guy who lived up above, and this is a true story. The black gentleman who lived above Dr. Shirley, Carnegie Hall. And he went on a tour down south and had a mafia guy as his driver, which is a great movie, but he would only play Steinway.
Right, a lot of people will own and play
And
Steinway.
so they show up down in Birmingham somewhere, and there's like South Jackson, and there's a janitor out there, and the guys are playing up their viola and their bass and all that, and the driver, his band goes over there and looks in there. There's this old ragged piano that got coffee cups in it and junk inside of it, and he goes and gets the guy, and he said, "This is not Steinway." And the guy said, "So what?" And he said, "Dr. Shirley's contract says he only plays Steinway. And plus it's full of trash."
Yeah.
He said, "It's not clean." And the guy said, "But, clean it out." And he said, "That's not my job." And he said something smart to him. The guy called him a Yankee or something. He just slapped him. Bang!
Oh, golly.
Slapped him across the face. And so the next thing you see, Dr. Shirley's playing the Steinway that night.
Yeah.
He said, "I don't even know if there's one in the state." And he said, "Not my problem. It's in his contract. Get a damn Steinway
Right,
out here.
if you want
You're
me
not
to
going to
play.
do it?"
Yeah.
"Oh, you'll do it." So,
That's
with all that said, isn't music wonderful? Always have music in your life.
It's
if
important.
you can.
It is important. I don't know what I would do without my music.
What would I
would
do
just-
without my music?
Yeah,
How
that's-
could I dance without a song? How could the floor be so soft and inviting without the music come along? And there we go. With that all said, happy Veterans Day.
Don't forget, it's 11 o'clock today.
11 o'clock.
At
We're getting ready to go
South
to South Jackson
Jackson
Civic
Performing Arts Center.
So, thank you folks for watching. See you next time.